held either the ability or the ambition to upend the status quo. Yet as I said on that freezing January afternoon to more than 8.5 million New Yorkers, we will make no apology for what we believe.
Of course!
I was elected as a democratic socialist, and I will govern as a democratic socialist. Tonight, I want to talk about what we've done. Not to congratulate ourselves, but as a reminder of what is possible. With what we've accomplished in 14 weeks, imagine what we can do together in 4 years. We began with a promise: universal child care.
Yes, we are!
And by day 8, we delivered it.
Yes!
Thanks to historic $1.2 billion partnership with Governor Kathy Hochul and the organizing of more than 100,000 New Yorkers during the campaign,
Yes.
we will not only make 3K truly universal, we will deliver free child care for 2-year-olds for the first time in New York City history. We will begin with 2,000 children this fall, 12,000 next year, and cover every single 2-year-old by the end of 4 years.
Yes!
Tens of thousands of families will no longer have to choose between having a child and affording to live in our city. That is the change government can deliver.
Yes!
I think of Mallory, a young mother spending $2,000 a month on childcare. She dreamed of having another kid, but she couldn't afford it. When we announced universal childcare, she said it finally felt possible. When young parents save more than $20,000 per year, per child, that is the change government can deliver.
Yes! We shall do!
When children get a better start, when parents can keep their jobs, when billions of dollars in workforce productivity return to our economy, that is the change government can deliver. And we didn't stop there. We're taking on the biggest driver of the affordability crisis in our city: housing. We are going after the bad landlords who violate our laws and mistreat their tenants. Since January 1st, we have won more than $34 million in settlements, judgments, and repairs for tenants. Delivered improvements to 6,070 apartments so far, and issued 195,829 violations. New York City will no longer tolerate exploitation as a business model. We have held rental rip-off hearings across the 5 boroughs and heard from more than 1,600 New Yorkers, because the same tenants who have been overlooked by our politics will now be at the heart of our policies. As we protect the tenants of today, we must also build for tomorrow. That is why we have cut red tape and accelerated the construction of thousands of new units of housing. Homes that are not only affordable enough to rent, but many that will be affordable enough to buy as well. And I know there are many New Yorkers who care about the work of the Rent Guidelines Board. I am one of them.
Okay, fix that.
Rents are too high across New York City. And government can do more to address that. I am proud of the 6 new members I appointed to that independent board, and I look forward to the decision they will come to in just a few short months. No longer will city government be afraid of its own shadow. If anyone should be afraid, it is those who take advantage of working people. Over these past 102 days, as we launched a sweeping worker and consumer protection agenda, we have made clear that solidarity is not just a slogan, it is a practice.
Yes.
When Meisner nurses went on strike, I was proud to join them on the picket line. And those nurses didn't back down until they won the better wages and safe working conditions they deserve. We will stand with workers who have so often stood alone. We have returned more than $9.3 million to workers, consumers, and small businesses. Nearly $100,000 every single day we've been in office. We've expanded protected time off for more than 4 million workers, reinstated nearly 10,000 wrongly deactivated delivery workers, and issued nearly 60,000 compliance warnings across our city. And throughout it all, we have taken on the junk fees and subscription traps that afflict far too many New Yorkers.
I just want to be ready.
No longer can someone charge you a hidden fee for the hotel you book or make it impossible to cancel a gym membership. As we set the global standard for protecting consumers, we will also ensure that New York City remains the global center of business. We want to build the strongest economy that our 5 boroughs have ever seen. And we are on our way. New York City continues to lead office recovery nationwide. Venture capital investment in our city reached $11.1 billion in the first quarter of this year, the strongest quarter in 5 years. Labor force participation is at an all-time high. And yet we know that if we want our city to continue to grow, we must deliver the conditions for exactly that.
Yes.
Public safety is at the top of the list. Make no mistake, our approach to public safety is working.
Yes,
Since we took office, murders have hit record lows. There has not been a murder on Staten Island in more than 180 days. Crime in our city is down. The NYPD has taken more than 1,000 guns off of our streets since January 1st. Together with the crisis management system, we are on pace to deliver the lowest levels of shooting in our city's recorded history. And there is always more to be done. Our administration will approach public safety with a whole-of-government approach. That is why on day 78, we were proud to announce the creation of New York City's first ever Office of Community Safety. It will devise new approaches to the gun violence and mental health crises that stretch across our city. This commitment to safety extends to making our city safer and smoother for the New Yorkers who navigate our streets. On the third day of our administration, we announced that we would install protected bike lanes along the entirety of McGinnis Boulevard. One of the most dangerous roads in New York City, protecting the thousands of New Yorkers who use it every single day. We took action to lower speed limits across thousands of school zones citywide. 438 children have been killed in traffic crashes in our city since 2000. We will not accept this as normal. And as we prepare for the World Cup, we are delivering major street upgrades, including a redesign of 9th Avenue and expanded bike lanes and pedestrian spaces across downtown Manhattan. Throughout every day of this work, we have contended with a historic budget deficit larger than even that of the Great Recession. Unlike those who came before us, we will budget with transparency and accountability. As we have responded to this crisis, I have thought often of the Margaret Thatcher quote. The problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. If anything, my friends, it seems that you eventually need a socialist to clean up the mess. I told New Yorkers that City Hall would hold a singular purpose: to make this city belong to more of its people than it did the day before. For 102 days, we have endeavored to do exactly that, delivering both public goods and public excellence. Buses will run faster on Fordham Road. Children play in a new recreation center in East Flatbush, honoring the legacy of Shirley Chisholm. Childcare centers are opening in Western Queens and Staten Island and the South Bronx. That is the change that government can deliver. Yes. And it is the change that democratic socialism can deliver.
Yes!
I know there are many who use socialist as a dirty word, something to be ashamed of. They can try all they want, but we will not be ashamed of using government to fight for the many, not simply the few. We will not be ashamed of adding more heat pumps to NYCHA buildings in the Rockaways, or building more supportive housing in Harlem, or standing steadfast alongside our trans neighbors. We will not be ashamed of investing in youth mental health clinics, or working to close Rikers, or fighting for immigrants. To any New Yorker, whether you're under attack from the federal government's cruelty or suffocating under the affordability crisis, we will stand beside you. Because government is a series of choices, and socialism is the choice to fight for every New Yorker. To extend democracy from the ballot box to the rest of our lives. We are hardly the first socialists to embrace good governance. 110 years ago, the city of Milwaukee elected a mayor named Daniel Webster Hone. Hone was considered young for the job, only 35 years old when he took office. I know, crazy, right?
That's unfortunate though, Zoan.
More importantly, Hone made no apologies for being a socialist. Mayor Hone knew then what we know now. The worth of an ideology can only be judged by its delivery. As Emile Seidel, the socialist mayor who came before Hone, once said, their entire governing philosophy was simple. Go after it and get it.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, Zoan.
Under Mayor Hone, Milwaukee built the greatest public park system in the nation and weathered the Great Depression better than almost any other American city. Under Mayor Hone, Milwaukee purged corruption and graft, built the first municipally sponsored public housing development in the nation, and transformed the city's sewage disposal system. He believed, just as we do, that to deliver this great society, we should tax the rich. Milwaukeeans knew them simply as leaders who delivered. It's time we bring that to New York City. And yes, that means you too, Giannis. Come join the Knicks next year as we defend our country. In all seriousness, as I've said time and again, there is no problem too big, no task too small. Universal child care was a problem deemed too big to take on. Standing up for workers against corporations was a problem too big to take on. Building more homes, lowering crime to historic levels, and defending tenants against bad landlords, these were problems too big to take on. But here's the truth. Nothing is too big for New York City to take on. And over the past 14 weeks, we have proved that there is no task too small either. Because if government can't do the small things, how could you ever trust it to do the big ones? How can you promise to transform our city if we can't pave your street? And that's why since January 1st, New York City has filled more than 102,000 potholes, including 22,800 in just 3 days alone. From Pelham to Tompkinsville, Bay Ridge to Inwood, city workers have fixed roads at a rate not seen in more than a decade. They filled them as the sun came up, they filled them at midnight, they filled them at all hours of the day. And that's not all. By the end of this fiscal year, the Department of Transportation will repave 1,150 lane miles of our streets. Enough to stretch from New York City to Miami. This is pothole politics. Our 2026 answer to sewer socialism. We're the problems of this city, no matter their size. On day 6, when we paved the bump at the base of the Williamsburg Bridge, that was pothole politics. On day 65, when we rolled out our plan to take down thousands of feet of scaffolding that have darkened city streets for years, that was pothole politics. On day 90, when we announced more than $100 million to replace and modernize more than 6,700 catch basins, that too was pothole politics. Honestly, that one might have been sewer substitutes. And when our city was blanketed by winter storms, when mountains of snow piled up on our streets, we brought pothole politics to emergency response. Sanitation workers melted 783 million pounds of snow, spread 1 billion pounds of salt, and cleared 135,000 crosswalks, 34,000 bus stops, and 29,000 fire hydrants.